Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Thursday, January the 4th. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, maybe much like our hockey team, so this one's going to be short and sweet. The Canucks flew to Toronto today. They're going to kick off their next road trip on Saturday night by taking on the Maple Leafs on Hockey Night in Canada. Good time for the Canucks to get away from home. They lost 5-0 on Tuesday night to the Anaheim Ducks, and they've struggled a lot at home all season. A lot of it had to do with, in line with the injury to Bo Horvat, which we've talked about ad nauseum here. But let's see what the Canucks can do on the road. Maybe focus, bond a little bit, and maybe start to get guys like Baertschi, Sutter, and Horvat back sometime this month in January. So they're in Toronto to play the Leafs. Let's talk about the Leafs. And forget about this whole supposed Eastern bias thing. Forget about the media bias that we see from CBC, TSN, and Sportsnet, and so on and so forth. Forget about this whole center of the universe argument, whatever. Let's look at Toronto itself, the hockey team itself, their players and their coaching and their management. They are sitting comfortably in third place in a weak Atlantic division, so the Maple Leafs will make the playoffs this year. You have Tampa at the top of that division, followed by Boston and then Toronto, and then a big drop-off, a 9-point drop-off to teams like Florida, Detroit, Buffalo, and so on and so forth. So the Maple Leafs will make the playoffs. That's not a point that's up for debate. Do you like the Maple Leafs hockey team? It was easy to hate them when the Canucks were so good and the Maple Leafs were so bad. 2010, 11, 12, 13. The Canucks were winning President's Trophies and the Maple Leafs couldn't get out of the bottom of their division. But we've seen that change in the last few years. And I ask you now, as a Canucks fan, are you okay with the Leafs? Are you fine with do you like the way they are trending? Do you like the type of game they play? Or do you still delight when they lose? Were you laughing when they lost in the playoffs last year? But at least they made the playoffs. All right, so the Leafs have a nice mix of young players and veterans and middle guys too. Of course, they're led by Austin Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Hyman, Riley, a lot of young players. You got the veteran players too, like Patrick Marleau and James Van Riemsdyk. So they got some veterans there. Then they got some middle guys too, like Nazem Kadri. You wouldn't say he's a young guy anymore, but he's certainly not a grizzled veteran yet. And then you have strong goaltending in Frederik Andersen. They play an exciting game. They're in the top 10 in things like power play percentage and penalty kill percentage, so you know that they're well coached. So speaking of the coach, do you like Mike Babcock? Do you like? I like his honesty. I like the way that he's very frank with the media. He'll say when his team's playing well. He'll also call his team out when they're not playing well. I like when he first started 2 or 3 years ago that he said there's going to be a lot of pain as the team looks to rebuild, and they've actually done really well with that rebuild. And then management up to Lou Lamoriello and so on and so forth. So what do you think of Toronto's franchise? What do you think of Toronto's team? I'm not going to ask you, would you rather have Toronto's team or our team right now? But you can answer that if you want. Sure, they don't have Brock Besser, and they don't have guys like Elias Peterson in the coming up the ranks. So maybe the Maple Leafs are where we want to be in about 2 or 3 years. Maybe they're 2 or 3 years ahead in their rebuild than we are right now. And yes, that might be a tough pill to swallow for Canucks fans, but it's the reality. As we know that teams ebb and flow. We had our nice high point about 4 or 5 years ago, and now we're at our low point and hopefully on our way up. And like I said, maybe just 2 or 3 years behind where the Leafs are. So Canucks fans, what do you think? Are you okay with how the Leafs are doing? Do you want them to succeed? Do you want them to fail? Or are you kind of meh, kind of neutral? It is what it is, so to speak. And let them do their thing, we do our thing. And hopefully we will achieve some playoff success in the next 2 or 3 years. Anyways, I'm not sure I'm going to check in with you before Saturday. We'll see how I'm feeling. Until then, have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow and Friday. And I hope the Canucks do well on Saturday. Likely check in with a quick video on Saturday because it will be a big game, especially if there's any roster lineup moves or anything to announce before then. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment below. God bless, and go Canucks go.